Greetings, my champions, and welcome to Live with Chatufa. We are giving you updates every time of what is happening in the nation, around our neighbors, as well as all over the world. Linda Masarira exposed for working with the CIO by Tinashe Jonasi. This has been a very heated issue that was going around the circles today after Tinashe Jonasi, in an interview, revealed that people like Linda Masarira are actually working with the regime. And as it continues to be exposed in this season of exposure, we are seeing that the politics that we think is politics in Zimbabwe is actually just a game of pretenders and actors. Because when you hear people like Linda and how they want to always stand and speak like they represent the people of Zimbabwe, you'll be surprised that these are people that are pro ZANU-PF and actually enabling ZANU-PF to continue to oppress the Zimbabwean people. So Linda Masarira has been exposed this big time, and of course, I don't think we could be saying that we are amazed to hear this, because we've always been saying that. And for those maybe, for the benefit of those that may be doubting, we really are giving them this opportunity for them to see for themselves what we always talk about, that all these people that are calling themselves opposition figures in Zimbabwe, they are not opposition figures. Right now, as we speak, we could maybe possibly talk about Valerio, the woman, as the only legitimate candidate that we could be having as of now. But the rest of them, they are just political actors who are busy dining with ZANU-PF on dinner tables. And this is the reason why, as a country and as a nation, we are failing to get better, because we are looking at everyone who gets an opportunity to enter into the political arena. They would want to be selling out the struggle quickly for them to start making some bit of money for themselves. And this is really very sad and pathetic, because it is derailing the struggle. So Simba One Blow has indicated that Tinashe Jonasi explains how Dr. Linda Masarira is working with the CIO on instructions from Deputy Director General Moyo, or Director General Moyo, and Donald Charumbira. Tete venyika vari kudya nesystem, #ZANU-PF must go. And in this interview is the way where Tinashe Jonasi has exposed Linda big time. And big time, Linda came back and started to hit back and refused. And she said, "You should be ashamed of yourself for peddling propaganda and falsehoods. Shame. Sadly, I held you in high regard." Right, and many people started to express their concerns over the very issue of Linda Masarira. And someone is saying, "Dr. Linda Masarira, Zimbabwe saw," is busy laughing. And Simba says, "Yeah, Dokota." And she also says, "Thank you for the publicity, Simba. There is no negative publicity in politics. Mukarwadziwa nene hamupore." Then he says, "Saka akakuvengai kaJonasi, Dok, sue him." Right, and Moyana is saying here ngaachipindura ka Linda, right? Somebody is saying GD6 vakaiwana PCC. Zambia is also saying ditete va wani iyeyu. You see, people are she works for no one. She has been desperately knocking on the doors of the system to get in for a long time. Unfortunately, all her intel she has provided with efforts to get in have been nothing but folk tales. She opens up her mouth more than she is supposed to be. Right? That's exactly what the situation that we see with Linda. Someone is saying that's why he supports ZANU-PF and opposes the opposition, but she claims she's an opposition. She's an opposition lunatic. Why are the ZANU kids accusing each other of being ZANU? Was it not obvious? Havasitete venyika ava itsotsi riri kutsvaga raramo neutengesi zviri pawhite, zviri obvious. We know already that's not news. Somebody saying that, of course, people might say it's not news but there are people that learn every day that we share some of this information. You might take it for granted and think that everyone knows whatever is happening. You might discover somebody asking you, Linda Masarira Ndiani. It happens in our society. It's very normal. But somebody might be watching that or getting that information for the very first time and may also learn. So when information is given out, nobody must attack information because you are saying, I know about it. Why are you talking about it? It's not new or something like that. Because remember, we are talking to many people, and somebody might be discovering it for the first time, or somebody might be convinced that day after some kind of evidence that will have been provided there. So that is how these things work. So generally speaking, we are saying we don't have politicians in Zimbabwe, especially in the opposition. All these are ZANU-PF surrogates, and they are working with ZANU-PF to pull us down. And our struggle has suffered a lot of shipwrecks because of people like this. These are the Shabangu style, these are the Wende styles, and the rest of them who are up there trying to make sure that they derail the struggle for the freedom of the Zimbabwean people. But the truth of the matter is that one day is one day. Zimbabwe is going to be free. Whether everyone who is a political actor decides to dine with ZANU-PF today, that is not going to keep ZANU-PF in power. ZANU-PF will collapse because its time is up and its season is over. And they are going to go out, simple. So for those that are choosing to side with ZANU-PF, it's going to be very unfortunate because the days for ZANU-PF and Emerson Mnangagwa are numbered. And they are going to be left in the naked. They are going to be left bare. And it is going to be a very sad scenario, especially for those that are committing crimes in the name of ZANU-PF. And those vari kudya mari dzenyika muchidya mari muchiba neZANU-PF. It is not going to be lasting long. You are going to be paying dearly for this. And all that we are saying as Zimbabwean people is let's just continue to stand and pray for the nation. Let's fight for our struggle, for the freedom of Zimbabwe. Let's continue to put pressure on Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF until victory is realized. And one thing we know is victory is certain. Zimbabwe is going to be free. Zimbabwe shall rise again. And the end of ZANU-PF is finally come. So people like Vanalinda, people like I remember I said Maduku love more, and the rest of them, they can continue to pretend as much as they want, but they are never going to sell the struggle forever. We are definitely going to win our country back, and Zimbabwe will be revived, and Zimbabwe will begin to rise. So this is what it is, family. I want to appreciate you so much for joining me on the show. Let us meet in the upcoming shows, and continue to support this platform as always. And of course, the main platform, we are going to be meeting later on in it as we are discussing more of what is happening in our nation. Remain blessed.